The topic for this podcast is whether or not you need a prenuptial agreement. The answer to that depends on a number of factors, but the first one, and the most important one, is whether either of you have children from a prior marriage. Prenups have two purposes. The first is in the event that either of the parties die, and the second is in the event that there's a divorce. It is more important, in my opinion, to have a prenup for the first rather than the second. In the event of a death, there are certain laws that apply that are outside of the area of divorce law, and estate laws protect the spouse of a married couple. In order to have those rights waived, there needs to be an agreement between the parties that's signed, and that type of agreement is usually done by a probate attorney, usually done prior to marriage. Divorce lawyers are familiar with the family code, which differs in certain regards from the estate code and from estate planning. Therefore, sometimes parties will have an agreement only in the event of a death. And in that case, what's important is if there are minor children that either party has, or for that matter, adult children, from a prior marriage, to protect those children so that the spouse, if something should happen immediately after the marriage, doesn't inherit more than what the children might otherwise get. That's a complicated matter. It brings up all sorts of questions and issues, but again, it's a probate issue and parties need to talk to an estate planning attorney in terms of whether they need a prenuptial agreement under those circumstances and what the prenup can do to protect their rights and protect their children. The divorce one is more complex, and we don't draft prenuptial agreements in this office, but there are a lot of other family law attorneys who do that. Our primary belief is if you're going to get married and you think you need a prenuptial agreement, you ought to rethink whether or not you should be marrying this person, because as romantic as it may sound, marriages should be forever. However, we recognize that not all marriages are forever, and if you feel that a prenuptial agreement is necessary in the event of a divorce, then you may want to consult your divorce attorney for a referral or ask the estate planning attorney who's drafting the prenup if that attorney can also include provisions for a divorce in the context of the agreement. Under no circumstances should you start asking this question the day before the wedding. This needs to be asked and discussed with your potential spouse weeks before the wedding so that the attorneys have enough time to consider the circumstances and draft something that's fair to both of you.